Hello! Welcome everybody! Hey guys, gals and non-binary pals. We're back with session 2 of our Alandressa campaign. I'm here with Mars, Tats, Katie, Shen, B and Stee. How are we all feeling about the end of session 1?
My stuff is gone.
Yeah, kind of pissed.
Dude, where's my money?
Are okay.
Yeah, dude, where's my money is a pretty good... That's a pretty
Where's
good
my
sum up
cart?
for it. Where's your
I mean, I
cart
wasn't
as well?
exactly rich, so-
Yeah. Dude, where's my cart? All the fucking guys have gone with the wagons. Yeah, man.
Did you wake up with new tattoos?
Did you wake up? yeah. Yeah. You wake up with a guy stood over you who says, "Your hair smells different when you're awake."
No thanks.
No, roll for escape. Okay.
No, I can fly. I'll just fly away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, shall we go for? Can I tempt anybody for a quick what's the word? Recap. How's a recap for everybody?
Sounds good.
So, Aldrin had a difficult time in the what do you call it? In the swamp, the Sugar Swamp, where a young teenager had gotten into their jars of frogs and unfortunately found the wrong one, the right one. I mean, it could be argued either way. But essentially, yeah, do not the frog. Essentially, it was a step too far for some of the Elder Council who are a little bit bigoted and unfair towards Aldrin, purely based on something that Aldrin cannot control, heritage. And so Aldrin was encouraged to find, what's the word, refuge, should we say, at Dash, and that sent Aldrin on a path towards heading north to Dreed'll. Ash was beset with difficulty with two guys who were pretty certain that they were going to tear up, rip down, and otherwise demolish Ash's home. Ash went in search of answers and was told to go and find a counsellor. But essentially, the counsellor said, look, it's out of my hands. The permit has been given. If you really want this to be undone, you better go and find Sir Curly of Seven Strand Construction Company, one of the fabled Three Little Pigs, who is up north at the moment. Last seen around Dreed'll. We're sensing a theme. Briar was headed towards grabbing some resources for Briar's parents, the lauded medics of Ironfront, when Briar saw two men in an alleyway. She gave them a silver piece to try and help with the medical care that one of them required. Unfortunately, it was not the 15 gold that they did need, and the one man died, and the other left a note for any passerby to be warned not to go north, and that there was danger up there. Briar approached Rowena, her mother, and was told to avoid going north because there is a person by the name of the Holy Man. And if you ever see that person or hear of that person, then you've already gotten too close and you need to run immediately and come home to me. Also saw wounds on the person lying in the alleyway with red veins or like tendrils that sort of spread out from this fetid wound that looked not particularly nice. And then they died, so must not have been nice. Headed north again. Isabel was at the Howler's, should we say, place of residence, place of refuge, place of squatting, whatever you want to call it, an abandoned building in Ironfront, a place where this sort of clan peoples from Corelva, the Wolf's Maw, the Footpad clan they were called, a part of them had splintered off and become the Howlers, this group of mercenaries, of which Isabel was stuck looking after because all of the elders had left. And on Isabel's entry into that building, unfortunately, broke the latch and the young uns wanted to try and escape. Thankfully, the leader came back in, Thaddeus, just in time to find them trying to leave, and Thaddeus instructed Isabel to please go north and find a person by the name of Friedrich Ratzenberger, because he might be able to give a steady supply of food. And Isabel, of course, is trying to finish her book. Ruby was asked by Crimson, shortly after a discussion with Berg, if Ruby could go and break down some sort of boulders, some blocks that were outside of the Deer Dairy doors, and it was because a sort of the construction supply of bricks that had been sent in for training purposes for the gang had sort of dried up, shall we say, as dry as a brick can be, I guess. And so Ruby was sent outside to try and break some of them down with her fists. And after a very long journey from Corelva, delivering something to the footpads there, was sent over back to Deer Dairy, only to be sent out to do some brick breaking instead of actually sleep. So when Ruby grabbed some 40 winks, a stranger appeared and spoke to her. Seemed to have a bit of a condescending tone, we think. But essentially, the takeaway message was, where are your friends? And Ruby then woke up, tried to find her friends, but couldn't. Found a note instead from Crimson saying, go and find the Howlers, see if you can help them, because they've been taking most of the mercenarial work. On speaking to Thaddeus, was asked, I'll pay you. I want you to protect Isabel on her journey north. And so Ruby has been tagging along with that. And finally, Victor. Victor, who was travelling for the longest time of anybody in the party, up to session 1. Victor had been travelling to the Highfall to go and seek audience with the Snow Queen, who he was successful in doing so, in a palace that looked much under construction, with a woman who looked under construction herself. She seemed to not be all there, really. But after a lot of discussion and some back and forth, there was agreement to start shipment of Big Bad Bacon from Big Bad Bacon Inc., of which Big Red is or was the owner. On return back, Big Red was found in her office with her head missing, shall we say. And some of the silverware in a nearby locked cupboard missing too. So, with that, everybody in their allotted, whatever you want to call it, journeys, all of their missions, sort of found themselves a part of the same caravan of travellers. And having laid down for the night, with everybody either meditating, in Aldrin's case, or sleeping, in everybody else's, the party of travellers took their opportunity to relieve the party of their gold and make haste away. In which direction, you don't know. You only know that you have woken up in the night and that your travelling caravan has left without you. That's where we're at the moment. It was a chunky session 1, so that recap has taken a while, but yeah, we've basically made it up to where we are now. You are currently on the roadside, headed north out of Ironfront in the Red Wall. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want to do right now? And here we are.
Do we see like the tracks of where the caravan had left?
It's still very dark. If you have dark vision, then you do. Up to a point, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
Anybody who does?
I believe I have.
Yeah. Can I sort of scan the area, see what tracks, trails, or direction they might have gone?
Yeah, you can scan the area.
What can I
Give me
I
a
do.
May I help?
anybody may. So who's gonna do the check, and you can roll with advantage because you've got help. The help action.
I can see up to 60 feet.
But what's
Right.
everybody? Let's say an investigation check would be the one here.
Okay.
Who would
I
like?
have
Who's
a
got the best
pretty
investigation?
high end. I'll
I'm
go with
kinda good
that.
at that.
I'll let you decide
Fire
between
is
yourselves just for a moment.
roll.
Just for everybody in the
I think you
stream,
asked
this is
first,
the
so you
map
roll
of
with
Alandressa.
advantage?
I've not shown
Yeah.
anybody yet, but this is it.
Seems the logical thing to do, I think.
Let me just resize it so you can see. Boom.
Me?
So
Sorry.
that's the map of Alandressa, just so you can see what the
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
what the actual map looks like.
Right. Oh. I did not roll that with advantage, or do I just roll that twice?
So if you go into the chat box, if you hover your mouse over the number, then you'll see an arrow up and an arrow down. You click the arrow up to get
Oh, I see.
advantage, and the arrow down for not.
Oh.
So
I
dirty
reached
20.
advantage.
Okay. With a dirty 20, you can see that the tracks have gone towards the rock wall next to you. 'Cause you're kind of at the base of a mountain. There's a cliff sort of right next to you here, where the trees are sprouting from, and you can feel the wind whistling over the top. It's part of the reason why you lay camp here, because it's a good shelter from the wind. Well, where that whistle is coming from, you can see that the tracks go directly towards the wall.
Well, isn't that interesting? The tracks go into the wall.
Can I try to investigate the wall where the tracks disappeared into?
Absolutely.
Or what kind of... Alright, well... Let me open my character sheet again.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
So you see that the tracks go towards the wall. You're pretty certain, Ash, that with a 5 investigation, that this cart has climbed up the wall and gone over the top of it.
I mean, that's obvious, right?
I mean, was this not a spider for some reason?
Look, I am a druid, a hermit, so how do I not know that they have, like, special adapters that let them climb up? Hey, everybody, I think it climbed up the wall.
Having heard this theory, I would like to check for tracks or any kind of thing that may have helped, like mechanically pull a cart up a wall.
I would love you to. Please go right ahead.
Cool.
And with a 10, you're starting to like the idea of this thing going up the wall. It seems like there's a lot of rocky, craggly bits above you that you could easily put a rope around. The only thing of it that you can't get is how they could have disguised the sound of it. It's right next to you.
Can I
I'm
go
a deep
over and
sleeper,
investigate what these two are?
You can investigate as well. Please do.
No, it's obvious.
With an
that they went
18,
up the wall.
with an 18, I will allow you to give me an Arcana check, please.
Arcana check, you got it.
With an 18 Arcana check as well, Aldrin, you are fairly certain that these were very adept illusionists, and that they would not have left something as silly as tracks laid behind them. You're fairly certain, with the high rolls you've had so far, a 20, an 18, and an 18, that these were laid here specifically to make people confused and stare at a wall for a while. It's their sort of idea of a joke.
So I'm going to continue my conversation with Victor real quick. I can fly up and see where they went.
Sure, I think that's an excellent idea. They clearly
I mean, they went over
scaled
the wall, obviously.
this wall. The tracks go right up
Yeah.
to it. There's no other... I don't see a gate.
All right, I'm going to prepare to fly up.
I'm not so certain they went that Wait, I really quite think that this was just sort of a trick, and they may have gone some other direction.
How? I mean, they would have left tracks behind. The tracks are right here. It obviously goes up this wall.
It's an illusion. They made it seem that way.
I love the way
it's
that
not.
you said that. It's an illusion. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I kind of embarrassingly shift my eyes to the side and walk away from the wall.
With my investigation being as low as it was, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure they went up the wall.
Do any of you even know each other's names yet? May I ask that? Because I don't think you've introduced yourselves properly.
Oh.
I don't think this is the time for, oh, by the way, we're trapped in a situation, but by the way, I am Isabel, etc.
I thought we introduced ourselves at the campfire.
You may have done. This is why I'm asking. Did you? Is my question, yeah. I'm not saying that you didn't. I'm just asking, did you?
Don't think I would have done.
Yeah,
Right.
I would have probably been too busy reading the book.
Bearing in mind the nature of my business, I think I would have been kind of keeping to myself
Right.
a little.
Okay. Right. Well, that's fair.
I'm not being unfriendly, I just have other things on my mind.
Yeah. Well, there are various reasons why any party forms. Sometimes it's through peace and happiness. Sometimes it's through dance and song. In this time, unfortunately, it's through adversity. There's nobody else around you. There's no resources near you. You've got very little in way of provisions each. And you've got even less in terms of gold. You've got 0. So at the moment, you're kind of forced to be together. But it does also kind of benefit you that some of you have links with each other. And others, you're all headed north to the same place. So kind of benefits each of you to be together. I don't know whether you all would feel that it would benefit you to know each other's names. Kind of hard to, hold a conversation when you're sort of like, that person over there, the one with the green?
Yeah.
Wait, which one with the green?
Exactly. That was the point I was making.
Okay.
You got it. You're very quick.
How do you guys introduce yourselves then?
I mean, I don't know the customs. So, I mean, I would just assume that if it was the custom to introduce, somebody would have done it already.
As each of you look around, you see the smouldering smoke coming from a pit that once held fire. You see the flat bedrolls that you have tossed aside as you climbed out of them to find yourselves dishevelled and alone. You see the flapping of a leaf on the floor as the whistling wind over the cliff nearby tries to lift it but can't because it's so sheltered here. But on the same wind, you start to hear a shift. You hear the wind turn from coming from the mountain towards coming from the north. And on that same wind, you can hear a groan approaching.
Perhaps we should
Can I
hide?
Does someone ever tell me?
over I don't know what distance I am from Isabel, because me and Isabel are introduced to each
I
other
guess-
outside of the Howlers. And
Yeah,
just wanna go,
I think I was introduced. The leader probably introduced me to you.
I think
Yeah.
I think from my memory,
So
you were
we-
leaving and you left before
Yeah.
Ruby was asked to help
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
you may
we've
have
had a conversation,
exchanged
though.
names at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've had a conversation, so I'm thinking of just going to Isabel, leaving these guys to discuss a cliff, and ask, are you hearing that?
Can I roll for perception? I guess I don't need to roll for perception.
I'm going to
You hear footsteps.
sneak. I'm gonna go and hide somewhere.
Yeah.
And try and get
Okay.
a better kind of vantage point. And I
Okay.
kind of whisper. I'm like, do a and get down gesture towards everybody, basically.
Yeah.
I say to Ruby, I think we better
All
at
right.
least make ourselves scarce a little bit.
I would like everybody
Let's
to give me a
hide.
stealth check that wishes to hide, please.
Oh, I'll
If
do
you
one.
want to hide, then give me the stealth check.
Where is the noise coming from exactly? Can we pinpoint that?
It's traveling on the wind from the north. If you wish, you can give me a. If you wish, you can give me a perception check as well. Let's just get all the stealth checks out of the way first. So we've
I'm
got
sorry.
stealth, 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 stealth. Oh
I
no,
missed
that last
Can
one
we
wasn't
do
stealth.
perception now?
Yeah. Give me a.
Okay, there's
Okay,
my
there we
stealth
go. There we
and
go.
perception.
Okay.
Oh my god, my rolls.
Why did Briar roll disadvantage with stealth? Is it because are you wearing armor? That's it, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's your scale armor. Yeah, okay, I get it. All right, I just wanted to clarify. It's been we've not had to have battle yet, so I don't need to consider your armor quite yet. All right, so what have we got in terms of stealth? 13, 7, 18, 11, 5, and 19. Quite a broad old thing there. Briar, you, with a nat 1 perception check, you don't even know what people are talking about. They're all hiding from something. You don't even know what the fuck is going on. But with an 11, you've met the required perception of this person's passive perception, as each of you that got this person's not really trying to hide as they walk south, but in the dark it's hard to really make them out. So anybody who got a 15 or above on the perception, you do see this person. So that would be Ash and
Me.
Victor and nobody else. Great. Okay, so Ash.
I didn't do well. I can't see.
Yes, the
Look,
bird
we
and the
bonded
orc.
over the cart going up that we saw the person together.
The bird and the orc both
I'm not
see
hiding and I'm oblivious.
a person coming. Yes, you're hiding from something you don't know. But essentially, you hear this awful deep groan. You hear the footstep and a shuffle, and a footstep and a shuffle, and the two of you spot in the dark, on like the small glint of light that's starting to peek through the trees from the sunrise. You see a person in mismatched armor. Human, blonde, sort of looks 40-ish, you know, older person. In a fantasy realm, 40 years isn't so much, but in reality, in like, you know, Industrial Revolution, a human of 40 years is actually pretty fucking old. So this person in armor really does strike you. And as you see him walking, you see that he's holding his side. He's moving his lead leg, and his back leg is dragging behind him. And he groans with pain. He looks like he's got in the light from the what do you call it? In the light from the sort of sunrise, both of you can see like a slight glisten of pale skin and clamminess, sort of on his face, on his arms, on every part of him that's visible. And he shuffles past your point, past your caravan.
If I do a medicine check just by looking them over, can I maybe figure out what's wrong with them?
You can do it with disadvantage because you're in hiding and it's dark and you're really not going to be able to see a great deal. A 13 medicine check. You can tell that this person has been in the wars. You couldn't say what war, and you couldn't say what damage that they've taken particularly. But you do know that they are heading their way past your small encampment at an incredibly slow pace.
Are they armed?
He seems to have a sword sort of loosely bound to his side, but he's not holding it. He's holding his side only. He's got his hand on his left rib cage, and he's just groaning as he tries to shuffle his way past.
Hey, mister,
anything that
you
anybody wants
okay?
to do. Say again?
Aldrin's just gonna shout right out to him. Hey, mister, you okay?
Ah! Oh! Oh! Please don't scare me like that. That really hurt. Ow.
Sorry, mister.
Where are you? I can't see you. He raises one hand up to his eyes to sort of shield them from the light, but then realizes there is no light and puts his hand back down to his side.
I'm going to move to get behind him and draw a dagger.
Okay.
I may. I don't intend necessarily.
What was your stealth check originally? It was 18. Okay.
18, yeah.
With an 18, yeah, I'll give you advantage on the stealth check because you're moving in the dark and you were already hidden from him.
Okay. How do I advantage again?
Just roll it, and then in the chat box you can click the up arrow. So you got a 17 and a dirty 20. Okay.
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, yeah, you managed to get right behind him with a dagger. Where are you holding this dagger to him?
I'm not going to put it on him. My intention is to like hit him in the base of like his skull to knock him out if he tries to move. I'm not gonna
okay.
Murder him.
Right.
I want to like try and render him unconscious if I can.
Love that. Okay. So we're going for like a
just in case he starts misbehaving.
Yeah, okay. Like non-lethal damage kind of level. Okay, right. I get you.
He
Great.
doesn't seem a big threat, but I don't want him to. We've had a bit of a rough morning so far, so I don't want him to instantly turn on my new friends.
So I'm just going to move your character to be behind him.
Cool.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, well, as the light starts to lift and we get to sunrise, we enter the golden hour, and I don't know why that's just done that. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, we enter the golden hour, and you all start to see this person a little bit better. He also starts to see some of you who had failed at your hide checks. So, for instance, Aldrin, who had shouted out, pretty obvious that you're there. But Isabel, I don't know what you would do with a 7 stealth check. I guess maybe you're just hidden sort of loosely behind something and you've got a book held in front of you. I don't know.
Half-assed trying to stealth. I was like,
yeah. To be fair, listen, a barbarian, not really their area, should we say? But you know, you do a passable job in the dark. But right now, he can see you, so his eyes are starting to sort of dart around as fast as they can, which for this man in this moment is not particularly well. Now, Ash, let's resolve your medicine check. You can tell now, in the light of day, that this person is actually, he has been stabbed. You can see that there is an open cut through his sort of bindings, is like Under Armour sort of tunic kind of thing. And you can see that there is a gaping wound in the left side.
Oh, you've been stabbed. What happened?
Oh, you think? Yeah. I know that I've been stabbed. Ow. Oh, ow. Please don't make me talk too much. It hurts.
Can you write it down so we know what
For
happened? Like...
those of you who are in Foundry, this is what this guy looks like. His name is Wilhelm. And
is that because of his
stream I mean,
I'm sorry.
Would I do that? Yes, I would. I'm trying to find him now. I can't find it. There we go. And for stream, that's what Wilhelm looks like. Kind of like a younger Matthew Broderick, with a gaping wound in his side and really mismatched armor. Yeah, so that's him. He sort of stands. You see that his knees start to buckle, and he just drops to one knee, tries to make it look like he's taking the brunt of it and get back up again, but just physically can't and stays dropped.
As he moves and drops, I'm gonna. Do I want to do that? Okay, I'm gonna go in and scoop and try to help him
Okay.
to his feet at that point. I'm like, I don't perceive him to be a threat anymore as I notice the wound. So I'm
Right.
going to go and kind of catch his arm.
Great. You help him up. He's taken completely by surprise at the fact that you were there at all. And he just is startled again. Oh my god! Oh,
Okay.
fuck!
It's okay.
Fuck! God!
It's okay.
Oh. What? Are there any more of you? Do I need to be careful?
A few.
Oh,
Who stuck
Jesus.
you in the squishy bits?
I mean,
He
there's
said-
a couple of us.
And he says Jesus, but as we established in previous campaigns, because you know the expletive Jesus often comes out in our mouths normally, Jesus is in canon is a fabled old dragon, Jesus the dragon. That's why occasionally people will shout Jesus and it will still make sense. Jesus, we don't have the Christian Jesus in this world, no. But yeah, he shouts out Jesus, and yeah, he's like, fuck, why are there so many? Can I just lay down and he collapses to the floor, face down.
I was holding his arm, if that helps him from collapsing.
He sort of does a little spin as he goes down. He is, because you're holding onto one arm. He is still unconscious, so you can,
armored.
yeah, so you can sort of gently lay him down at the arm. But yeah, he'll sort of not go down particularly gracefully.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to stop him from smashing his head, but I don't
Great.
think I can do much if he's wearing armor necessarily.
What is anybody doing immediately? Say again?
Briar wants to approach and take a look at the wound.
Okay. You may do so. Do a
Aldrin's
medicine
just
check or a
asking if-
perception check, whatever you want. What's Aldrin asking?
Medicine.
Just asking the group, can anybody fix his squishy bits?
I'd rather not touch squishy bits personally.
Not me. I'm good at making squishy bits.
And Briar, give me a perception check. That's an 11 medicine check, just for clarity.
I'm gonna come over and look too.
Oh, look at that! Wow, you've got a +5 perception. That's great. So you get a 23 perception check. The medicine check, you know that this guy is dying. You couldn't tell from what until you sort of tear open some of his clothing. I think that that's probably what happens in the medicine check, that you're a little clumsy-handed, hence the 11. But in your clumsiness, you end up rending his tunic open a little bit further, and you see the same fetid wound that the man in the alleyway had. Long red tendrils snaking all the way across his abdomen, but not quite as far as the guy who had died before. This guy looks like he's in the early stages of some awful thing.
Okay, so what do you get?
Can you help him?
Or is he
I'd like to
unconscious?
cast-
He's unconscious. He is unconscious at the moment.
Okay.
Gremlin,
I'm
welcome
going
in.
to,
Gremlin, you have walked into a man
attempt
being
to drag him out of the road
helped,
and-
aided, because he's been stabbed,
So
and he's got an open gaping
Fine,
wound in his side.
I guess.
Yeah, so
If I
you
could have a little help.
try and drag him out.
I
I
can
will
help.
help.
I'll help.
With
Okay,
with
yeah, you
six,
help.
I think with 6 of you, and the fact that this man is unconscious and also being helped by all of you, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Where do you want to move him to?
Just out of the road in case any carts or.
Can we move him right
more
here?
You want him to be at the
things
bedroll?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
So he's lying down on top of this bedroll. The wind starts whistling in from the north again, a little harder this time. You can smell rain on the wind. The footprints that he left behind start pit-pattering with rain as the rain starts to fall gently at first and then a little harder. He gets woken by this as you've laid him down in the bedroll just 5 minutes earlier. And as his eyes start to blink awake with the water hitting them, he looks around and sort of feels a little bewildered, looks a little bewildered. And you're all sort of stood around him, or where are you at this point?
I'm
going-
kneeling by his head.
Crouching by him and ask
Great.
again, who stuck him in the squishy bits?
He...
Or what?
I wouldn't know whether it was a who or a what. There were so many of us. So many. Brothers, all. Some fled days before. We were sent to take care of this problem, though. And he was the problem. None of us could bring him down. None of us.
When he's referred to group and we and was, can I try and put him in match? Is there anything that would identify where he goes or anything like in what he's bringing?
You're sort of cutting in and out a bit on your audio. What is it in particular that you want specifics?
He's up to what he's wearing to see if there's identifiers on it.
What he's wearing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
you're for like an
if there's any
insignia or something.
identifiers.
I don't know if it's just me, but I'm sort of you're cutting in a lot.
It was cutting out.
Right. Okay, so identifiers on his clothing. Well, you can just ask him who he's a member of, but I think some of you may sort of recognize people of this dress anyway. I think in particular, Ruby and Isabel, you've probably the greatest chance of knowing somebody from his group. So I would give you both a history check, or one can give a help action to the other if you want to try and like help the other recount their thoughts.
I'll do a history check.
Okay.
Hold a second.
Ruby, do one as well if you'd like.
History check.
Yeah.
History. Oh, that's okay. I'm better on now.
Okay. Ruby, you struggle to place them, but you've seen this sort of ragtag clothing before. This armor that looks like it's sort of thrown together from a waste pile. Isabel, you've definitely seen this sort of get-up, but you actually remember what they're from and what group he represents. This is a member of the Tin Soldiers, so called because they have terrible armor that's thrown together that usually they scavenge from the fallen. Hence why he's wearing all of this crap. But they are a group of mercenaries, and they usually travel in a large group. He is the first one of them that you've seen on their own.
Blimey, you don't usually walk around on your own, don't you?
Well, we were together. All of them, though. All of them.
All of them what?
Dead? I don't know. What he did to them. It looked like death, but it might not have been. It may have been something far worse. Oh! And he reaches for his side again. You can start to see that the red tendrils are creeping faster across his abdomen and chest. Briar, you could judge... Briar, you might judge that at the rate that this is spreading now, that it won't be long before it reaches the level that it was with the dead guy before.
I've seen this type of wound before, guys, and there's nothing I can do here.
Well, please sugar the pill a little.
I mean,
do you want us to put you out of your misery?
Well,
I'm just asking. It would be the humane thing to do.
If I must go, then... if I must go, I need tell you everything.
Please.
By the way, why am I getting an echo? I'm hearing an echo through somebody's thing. It's
That's
yeah.
not me. I mute my mic every
It
time.
is.
I'm
It's.
not
I
talking.
think. I think I've discovered whose it was, and they've just muted, so we're okay. Okay. So yeah. He looks up around each of you and says, You've never seen anything like it." His breath becomes laboured. He tries to speak, but can't make full sentences now. He's so short of breath. Every breath becomes lighter as he says it. I scarce believed it at first. They speak of people, capable people, who move like the wind, who show great feats of speed, who show great brutality, who are passionate and rageful, even calculated. He was none of those things. He was still, unmoving. He was not as fast as the light. He was as fast as the shadow that followed it. He points up towards Ash. He didn't have a beak as big as yours, nor as bright. His plumage, red as blood. But not everywhere. Not everywhere. Just sparing tufts and patches. His beak cracked, split. At the start, anyway. His armor cracked and rusted, falling to pieces. You see that his eyes are starting to close. His breath is becoming even more shallow. His clammy skin is becoming waxen now.
I
And in his
look at everybody and just kind of nod to them, and then I try to break his neck. I'm trying to just kill him, put him out of his misery. He's told us enough.
Okay. I won't make you roll for it, since this is a mercy.
Just unarmed strike, or?
No, that's what I said. I won't make you roll for it.
Oh, okay. I thought. Never mind.
You take hold of his head as you had been close to it this whole time. You bring one hand around the back and another just to reach for the opposite ear. And in this moment,
Right.
in this final second, he looks up towards you. With a final blink, a single teardrop falls from the side. And before you take that last turn of the head, one word whispers from his mouth. Cardinal. And you snap his neck.
I was going to say rest well right then, but I guess I'm not going to do that now.
And rest he
Alright.
does. You lay his head back down on the bedroll, and Wilhelm is no longer with us. I will give you this time to decide if there is anything that you would like to do for Wilhelm in his final rest. If so, just tell me what it is. We don't need to roll for it, because this is a mercy, as we've said. So if there's any kind of funeral rite that any of you would like to do, because I know that we have a cleric here, anything more spiritual that any other person may wish to do, if there's any words you would like to say, do what you wish. The floor is yours.
I was keeping watch because
Greetings.
I'm not really like while they were trying to help him, I was just kind of watching the road, and letting people who know better than me and are more that way inclined do their thing. So I'm not really a big believer in anything like that.
Understandable. And anybody else?
Briar, still kneeling next to him, will take 2 fingers and close his eyelids and then place a hand on his chest and say, I'm so sorry. But I will learn about this wound, these red tendrils. One day, I'll be able to save people that have wounds like yours, and I'm sorry that I couldn't save you. And then she'll just kind of walk off and sit by herself.
Okay. And anybody else?
I think we need to return his body to the earth.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Given time, given the surroundings that you're in, with the rainfall around you, with the wind whistling from the north, it seems that perhaps what you've done here has been seen with favour by somebody, because the rain starts to abate, as does the sudden change of wind. And in the growing light of day, the now wet ground is easier to shift. And as you lay that final shovelful of soil atop him, you each take a moment to pay whatever respect you wish to in this moment, whether you believe in a god or not. And Wilhelm returns to the earth. Thank you. That was lovely. Now, you each have information. You each have a destination to get towards. Is there anything in particular at this point in time that you wish to be discussing, or any direction you wish to be going in?
I would, first of all, like to, as we're doing the burial rite, I kind of press the coin I carry against my lower lip and close my eyes, and I'm going to take proficiency in perception, if I may.
Yeah.
As I whisper a little, kind of not a prayer, more of like a kind of well wishing on his next part of his journey.
Yeah.
To his spirit, essentially. And then I'd like to quickly look to see if I know it's been raining. The words that I wrote in the mud last night are still there.
Remind me of those words again.
It was the ones from the note that I received, which are "falls unclean." I wrote in the ground.
Yeah, you sort of see false, unclean, something close to it. You know, it's basically the same words, but yeah, it says something. You know, it's sort of the rain and the churning of mud and the footfall and all of that has kind of messed it up, but it's still there. So
But it
false
doesn't
and
look
clean
like
is still there.
anybody's kind of added to it or intentionally swiped it away or anything like that.
Give me an investigation check.
Sure.
Just to clarify, Jekyll, Bardinal or Cardinal? A C or a B?
A C. Investigation
I heard
check.
Bardinal, so I'm gonna change that.
Okay, you do that. Well, it was certainly cardinal. But
Okay.
great to know. Good. I'm glad that we're hammering this out right now. Yeah, in the before it becomes a linchpin of the entire campaign. 22 investigation check. With a 22 investigation check, no, nobody has intentionally done anything to this. It looks like the only thing that has happened here is a man has died. Before that, you got robbed, and before that, you arrived here with wagons. Not really much more has happened besides that.
While taking care of burying him, can Aldrin take a closer look at those tendrils?
Of course, yeah.
And
You could give
just
me a
see
medicine check if you like.
it's anything related to, poisons and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Happy.
Do you have... You've got proficiency in poisonous kit, haven't you? The alchemy kit. So we can add your proficiency bonus to that, which
Just
your
the
proficiency
giggle.
bonus is a 3, I think.
Um,
Should be. Or is it a 2?
I think so.
It'll be 2 until
2,
you level
yeah.
5, and then
I'm trying to figure out where it is on this that it says what your proficiency is, but I can't figure it out. It's a new sheet to me, so it's hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with an extra 2 on top of that, it's still only a 7 medicine check. You don't really know. It's not something that you're very familiar with, this wound. And Briar's had a look at it, and Briar's rolled even higher, and, you know, mechanically, that just means, you know, even with a skilled cleric's hand, still no idea. No idea of what you've seen here today, or whether you can match it up with anything you've seen before.
Could I also try to roll a medicine since I was next to him that whole time?
Sure. Anybody
Never mind.
who wants to, anyone who was there, can roll a medicine check if you wish. Just to see if you've seen anything like this at all. That's a 16 medicine check from Ruby.
What would I have to roll to check if it's anything animalistic?
Well, if you're investigating the nature of the tendrils and whether those are animalistic, then that would still be a medicine check because you're still trying to investigate the nature of this injury or disease or wound or whatever it is.
I'll give it a shot.
15?
Oh, it's not bad.
Alright, not bad. Unfortunately, even with a 16, Ruby, you still have not seen this before. You're not quite sure what it is. You just know that this is some kind of alien kind of thing to you, that it's unusual, that it's difficult to decipher. But it's certainly not something that you're familiar with. It certainly looks like it was putrid. It looks fetid. It looks like it was some kind of rapid decay. Of what kind? And of what these red tendrils are, you don't know. One thing that you do notice is that there's no blood. It's not a wound that's been bleeding. And I think in some minor discussion with Briar, there was very little blood in the other man's wound as well. There's just very little blood there. Yeah. Surprisingly for a large open stab wound. Especially in an abdomen. A lot of blood vessels in there. Okay, so as you've gotten that far, and as we've gotten this far through the session, I think it's time for us to have our first encounter roll. So, I've not done this in previous campaigns, but I think it would be fun to do it on this one. Now, I'm going to roll a d8, and each session there's going to be different encounters that are going to account for each number. Now, if you get a 7 or an 8 on the d8, it means that nothing happens, and you have a peaceful time, and everybody is as happy or as miserable as they were before. But if you get a 1 to 6, then there is a different encounter that could happen for each one of those, and I have made them custom to my liking with my NPCs. So although this may seem like an exciting time for each person that you meet, that does also mean that there are 5 other people that you're not meeting. So just to temper your expectations here, I don't want you to feel too happy about it. I kind of do want you to feel a little bit miserable. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make this a public roll so you can all see it. I'm going to do /R1d8, and it's a 1.
Oh, great.
So.
Well, then here comes a dragon then.
Sure, yeah. It's Jesus the dragon. Oh no. Oh, not fucking Jesus. Oh god. No. So as you are all sat in this sort of open clearing area, there's you can see that there's a rock face to the one side of you. There's the road north and south. And then there's the trees of the Green Waste, the sort of northern edges of the Green Waste over towards the east. And as you look over towards the east, you see that a chicken runs out of the forest from between the trees. A very large chicken. Like, this is the kind of thing that, you know, you would never get at KFC. This would be like a bucket in and of itself, just with one leg. That's crazy. So as this enormous chicken comes running out of the forest clearing, a young girl comes running out after. And you see this young girl exactly as she is. It's daylight. It's you know, it's the light is sort of growing. It's sort of about 10 a.m. I would say at this time, with the amount of time that you spent after dawn. And you see this young girl running out. She gets close to your cart, but you see her as you see her there. And let me bring her up for everybody in stream. There we go. So you see this, like, she looks like she's maybe somewhere between 13 and 15. So, I don't know, 14 maybe? Who knows? She's got like a long pointed nose. She's got a strong chin. She's got her hair in a braid and like a white streak going through it. She sort of stands with a hunch, but it's sort of not particularly pronounced. And she's running after this chicken. She's trying to catch this chicken, like it's just ran away from her. And she's chasing after it as much as she can.
Chicken chasing.
Come back! Come back!
I want to try and catch the chicken.
Come back, you!
Can Ruby
try and cast levitate on that chicken?
Say again?
I'm gonna try and cast levitate on.
You're gonna try and cast levitate on the chicken. Okay.
Levitate that bird.
Levitate the burb.
Yep.
Not this bird, that bird.
Let me see if I can find... Oh, there isn't... Unfortunately, in the monsters compendium, there is not a chicken. Let me see if I can find any kind of animal that I can put on a map for you. Jesus, there's just no chickens on here.
So it's about the same size as like an ostrich, or
smaller than an ostrich, bigger than a chicken.
Right. Okay.
There, I've got a raven. That's the only token that I've got that I can use as a bird. So we've got a raven down here that's going to act as our chicken, and 24 Constitution save. Are you? I don't think you're supposed to do the save. I think I'm supposed to do the save. Yeah, but it's 15. With a 15, the chicken saves and manages to continue dodging your levitate. And she's this young girl screams out, "What are you doing? It's my chicken! Stop attacking my chicken!" And she chases after it.
Just stop it, didn't you?
Yes, I don't want to kill.
It would just float.
Do not kill! We take the eggs! We take the feathers! We don't take the neck! Don't kill it!
It would float. Float.
She runs after this thing even more and gets completely knackered. It runs off into a forest clearing nearby. You don't see exactly where it goes, but she's exhausted at this point and stops and breathes where she is.
Y'all scared it off. I was going to talk to it.
I was trying to catch my chicken!
I was trying to help.
Well, good help. Scared the chicken. It ran away.
Well, I don't think you chasing was helping either.
How you think I catch them all the times?
I don't know. If it's corn.
Well, maybe if I had corn, I could use corn. I'd tell my papa about you.
Okay.
Tell my papa you made my chicken run away. My chicken.
Well, I'll do that.
Oh. She sits down and breathes. You can tell by the look of her that she's not the healthiest of people. She's got the hunch in her back, of course, and the beaked nose. But besides that, she's sort of like a paler kind of a person. To have this grey streak in the hair is also kind of not quite what you might expect for a person of her age. She certainly looks atypical for somebody of her age. She looks sort of around 14 years old. Perhaps human, at least humanoid. She has 2 arms, 2 legs. And yeah, she's sat there on the ground in the mud. Doesn't seem like the mud bothers her at all, though. Even the wet mud. She's just sort of sat in it.
Insight check on her.
You do an insight check, yeah. Okay, what you see is an exhausted young girl.
I would like to
Well, crap.
Actually, she's just a child. I think I trust her, so I'm just gonna kind of casually sit on a rock and watch everybody mess around chasing a chicken for a minute.
All right. I will give whoever wants to a perception check to see if you can find where the chicken has gone.
Ruby really wants to find this chicken.
You want to find the chicken? Okay.
Victor's
I
not
do.
interested.
I just want to cast Speak with Animals and try to talk to the chicken and call it back out.
Okay. We could try both of those. Which one do you want to go first? We've got, I guess Aldrin got a 7 perception, and Briar got a 24 perception. Ruby coming in second place with a 19. I would say that Briar and Ruby both have it, as this chicken is hiding somewhere in a brush. You can see sort of under the bush these like quite thick like chicken legs sticking down with the claws, like scratching at the dirt, as it starts to pick berries away from the bush. And Ash, you cast Speak with Animals. You're able to speak towards this creature, which can now understand you.
I'm gonna talk to the chicken and ask it why it was running away from the girl.
Okay. Let me just look up the exact wording of Speak with Animals, because I'm...
The exact wording the chicken is gonna say is...
But it's not a normal looking chicken, so it could have intelligence higher than what we think it does.
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. So for 10 minutes you can speak with this chicken, and the chicken can speak back. So the chicken looks up at you from a distance, as I'm sure that you're not stood directly over the bush, but you yell out towards this chicken. What was it exactly? What were the words?
Why are you running from this child?
I get kept in a cage all day. You think I want to stay in a cage?
What was she doing to you?
Stop feeding me, taking my eggs. You know.
Do you want me to try to negotiate a bigger cage for you, or like a bigger area?
I want a bigger area. You have beak. You're a bird. What area do you have? You have a cage?
Well, I can talk to everybody, not just chickens, so I am my own person.
Oh, so the bigger you are, the more freedom you have to walk around?
I mean, you're pretty big. You should have a bigger area.
Maybe if I was bigger, I wouldn't be kept in a cage.
Well, let me try to negotiate on your behalf.
Oh, well, okay. You do that. I'll stay here.
Okay, I'm gonna go and not approach her directly, but come like right here.
Okay.
So your bird wants a bigger area to be in and not just a tiny little cage.
Oh, you say so, do you? Of course you would say so. You are sympathizer. I see your feathers.
No, you want proof that I was talking to it? Hey, chicken.
Yes?
Here in about 5 seconds, can you jump? And then I look at her and I'm like, in about 5 seconds, this chicken's gonna jump.
Oh, I see. Big haha. You think I can turn it? I'm going to have to stand up, you know. I have hunching back. The chicken jumps. And she's not able to see it in time. She stands up just a bit too late. She turns around eventually and she's like, so what? Where is the chicken? I can't see the chicken.
Well, okay. Well, you missed it. That's not my fault.
Oh, I see. So it's a scam. You're scamming me. You're trying to steal my chicken.
It's your chicken.
I know it's my chicken. It's not your chicken.
Well, I just say that if it's going to come back, it might come back willingly if it had a bigger area. I kind of look behind me and, like, trying to get other people to agree with me.
She looks like she might be persuadable, but you'd have to give a persuasion check.
I'm working on it.
10. Alright, she has commoner stats. She's gonna roll insight. If her insight is a 9 or lower, then you... No, a 10 or lower, then you succeed. And if it's an 11 or above, then you don't. Okay. So you manage to persuade her. She sort of like narrows her eyes at you. It's difficult for her to look up at you with the sort of hunch in her back, but she does. And she sort of cracks a smile on the one side. I see. Bigger space to run around, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, would you like to be cooped up in a small little cage where you could barely move? I wouldn't.
I think I can fix this. You speak with the chicken?
I can, yes.
Speak for me now.
Hey, chicken, they will create a bigger area for you to rest comfortably in and all the food that you could ever want.
What did you say exactly? All I hear is the peck, peck, peck of a chicken.
I said that you would give them a area that they could rest in comfortably and move around in, and plenty of food to eat. I'm assuming that's what you're doing with them.
Well, it's not untrue, I suppose. Chicken! Come! She snaps her fingers.
Okay, come on, go follow her. You got a better home now, chicken.
The finger sound has never worked before, but I thought I would give it a go, you know?
I'm going to ask the chicken real quick what its name is.
Okay. The chicken sort of looks at you befuddled. What do you mean?
Like, I'm Ash. What do you call yourself?
Oh. Oh. Well, I don't think they give me a name.
What name would you like? You can pick.
I like chicken.
Okay, well then you shall from now on be called Chicken. When they call you, that means they want you to come and follow them because they've got food for you.
Ha! Feel good. Feel good have named myself. Ha ha ha! I have chicken.
I look to the young girl and I'm like, okay, go ahead and try to call it by its name. Chicken.
Name. Name. What is name?
No. Call it Chicken. Call
That
it over here.
That I need to know name. What is name? You
Chicken
don't give me
is
name. I already call it chicken.
And now it knows its name. It didn't know its name before.
That's not a name. That's a thing. It's
what it wants to
called
be
chicken. I don't understand you. Hey, chicken, come. This fool want you to. Oh, chicken coming. Okay.
See?
Chicken starts running out towards the young girl. Speak of name. What yours?
You can call me Ash.
Oh, I can I? My name is like yours, but longer. My name Yashk.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Bye. And she grabs the chicken and runs back.
Okay, I was gonna follow you. Bye.
She disappears into the forest, back towards her home, you assume. And that's where you've headed, or that's where she has anyway. Now, speaking of places headed, which direction are you all going? You've got sort of north. Yeah, you've got north, south, east, west. Where are you headed?
Well, I think the majority of us need to travel northways. That's why we're all on the caravan, right?
Yes. I was heading north. As you're so convinced that the cart didn't go up the mountain, do you perhaps know which way we might find our things? Or are we
that's a good
cutting our losses?
Well, I'm fairly certain that the tracks going up this cliff here are an illusion. But which way did they go? Did I get any sense of that?
You didn't get any sense of where it actually went, no. These were skilled illusionists. They laid tracks where they intended it to be and not where they didn't.
Okay. Okay, then we take the road north.
Okay.
All right,
You
we're heading north.
begin the walk north. You head I'm trying to think of the word and also form it in my mouth, and neither is happening. You head first into a wind. Should we say that? Essentially, the wind starts blowing southwards from where you are headed, and it starts to slow your path. You feel that there is like a lot of foliage around that's being kicked up, and a lot of dust being caught by it. But the further you travel, the less foliage there is, the more dust gets flung up by the wind. No longer any grass there to hold it down. The trees become sparser. The area itself becomes sort of dead, and eventually you reach an area of funeral cairns. The area is of an old battlefield. There are still standards stuck in the ground with their tattered fabric of the flags that once stood for wars and battles and battalions and, you know, entire armies are now destroyed, rent asunder by the damage of battle and of time. And you continue on further still with this stark reminder of the mortality that you've all received just at the very beginning of this day. As you continue on further still, you reach an area that is altogether so unbidden with life that it boggles the mind. This is not an area that I think you would have assumed would look like a desert, but it does. For all intents and purposes, it is a desert wasteland. It's dust, it's rock, it is all things that you would believe a desert to be. You find yourselves in an awful place. But as you get closer towards what was a running river coming down from the Redwall Mountains, you see that it has dried up and has become a deep ravine. You see that the area that you now stand in is barren, that there are no trees, that there is no grass. You can't even really look at the ground and call it mud anymore. It's just dirt. And as you appear within this area, the hot sun beats down on a scene that you can spot over the ravine from you, where a slight figure dressed in armaments with red plumage and a small black beak is taking their sword and plunging it to the hilt into each dead body that lays at their clawed feet. Is there anything in particular that you wish to do?
Oh no.
Hide, truthfully.
Do we intend to fight this creature?
Has it noticed us yet?
Give me a perception check. Or an insight check.
It kind of looks like the character Wilhelm told us about.
14.
You cannot place what this creature's thoughts or emotions or feelings are. Even with a 16 insight. Definitely with a nat 1.
I'm looking the other
With
way.
a dirty 20, Victor, you come the closest of all. This is a creature of a singular desire, and it is enacting that desire as you stare upon it. Anybody who wishes to can do a perception or a stealth check. I would say if you're hiding and you are at this distance, you cannot do both. So pick one. If you are perceiving, then you are not hiding. I'll allow anybody who already rolled it to decide if they would rather hide before I tell you what you see.
I'm not hiding.
Where I'm moving my token to, is that a wall perhaps? Or...
It's like a fallen tree. It's like a log
Okay,
that's sort of dried and withered, so it's very thin.
Then I shall hide.
Kind of flimsy, but you could try, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also hiding, and I think 23 allows me to, so I can
Oh,
join
yeah.
Victor, I guess.
And Victor
not
even
hiding.
beats that. Ruby
I
getting
don't know,
second place on a lot of these rolls today.
I'll use
I think
perception. I'll try
Aldrin was
perception.
looking for water for the frogs.
You're looking for water for the frogs, and unfortunately, this riverbed has dried up, my friend. There ain't no river water here. So let's see. With the stealths, we've got Victor and Ruby. You two are not trying to perceive anything. You are both hiding, and hidden you remain. Now, with the perceptions, we have an 11 with Briar. We have a 14 with Aldrin and Isabel. But with the 18, Ash, you see that this person, this creature, this being that stands above this body, has the sword plunged deep into this body. The sword is black. It looks of iron, but not any iron that you've ever seen before. It looks rusted and broken. It looks like it's got cracks all the way along the entire blade, the hilt, and pommel. The armor is cracked and falling to pieces. But as this sword goes into this body, you see that there is a draw of blood that comes up the blade. And as it appears up the blade, it heals some of the cracks in the metal, in the armor, on the blade, and more importantly, on the beak of the man in question. Now, if you get closer, Ash, as you are quite far away at this point, I will give you more information with the same roll. So what's that? That is 159 feet away that you are. You've seen what you've seen from that distance. If you get closer, let's say a little bit closer than where these two are, then you are likely to see more.
Let me go. Alright, he's over there.
This body withers to nothing, turns to dust, and blows on the breeze. And he moves to the next body.
Because he's got a sword, and I don't want to be anywhere within range of that thing. So I'm gonna fly up.
The sword he drags on the ground behind him. It scrapes along the dirt, the dust, every rock and boulder moves aside until he gets to the next body, at which point he finally lifts it and plunges the blade deeper into this creature as well.
Alright, well, I moved and I am flying.
Okay. You are now close enough that you can see written upon this creature's armor in Aarakocra are some words. Would you like to know what those words say?
Do I have to roll for that again?
No.
Yes, I would like to know what my language is saying on his sword.
It's not on his sword, it's on his armor. But it says across his chest. You see, as you appear closer, in the black armor of this person's plate, with the blood tracing lines across all of these cracks and tears and rust stains in it, and healing it, you start to see that some of these cracks don't heal, and that in fact they were intentional carvings and engravings in this armor itself. And as this final body, well, this one of these bodies withers to dust and blows away in the breeze again, he gets a little bit closer towards you, and finally, in the light of the sun, you see the reflection of this word that says, "Pick a god and pray." And with the dragging of the blade, he lifts it again and stabs it down into the next body.
Oh, I don't like this guy.
Thank you, Twisted, and welcome in. What a tone to arrive at when I'm about to drink a lovely lemon Fanta.
So he hasn't noticed me yet?
You can give me another insight check. 16. Again, implaceable. You could not tell what this person, this creature, is thinking or feeling at all. But as he gets closer, I will show you all this token.
It's very cool.
Very ominous.
Spooky bird.
And now I will give anybody who wants to a religion check.
I'll give it a go. Why not?
Sure.
Oh, never mind. I won't give it a go.
Oh no, Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby's got confused by Jesus the dragon and is
Jesus
just
the
praying to
dragon.
that.
Nice.
I mean, fair enough.
Aldrin, are you a particularly spiritual person, would you say? Or not?
They themselves are not particularly spiritual, however, their parental lineage is. So perhaps history passed down through a journal in the family or something,
Yeah.
to give some kind of history to them of where they came from would have contained religious information.
Okay. So even in the absence of a religious doctrine, we can all be spiritual in some respect. You don't need to believe in an afterlife to sort of find yourself in a spiritual mindset. You might just feel that perhaps there's, I don't know, that there's a meaning to life and that it goes beyond just the fact of being it. That there's something in the fact of our existence that means more than simply our existence, right? And I think as you search into that,
attuned with nature,
right? And I think as you search into that sort of thought and feeling, a thought occurs to you that the word cardinal is religious in and of itself. That in many ways, a cardinal might be described as a holy man. And as that realization comes to you, this body dissipates to the dust and he moves along. Dragging this now much longer blade behind him. And stabs it down into the next. The cracks healing on his beak a little bit more.
Share these thoughts with the group.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it quietly enough to try and keep it to just us.
I would need you to roll a stealth check to actually succeed on that. So it's up to you whether you want to say it and roll the stealth, or not say it and wait until later. But there's no guaranteed wins on this. Only the few, like the paying respects to the dead. Other than that, no, you roll for everything. So would you wish to say it, but roll stealth?
Yeah, because Aldrin would say it.
Okay.
Just kind of try and whisper it to the side, but...
Cool. Well, let's see how far away you are at the moment. You're over 100 feet away. And as I've explained, this guy seems like he has a singular focus at the moment. So I'll say that a 13 doesn't give you any kind of inclination that this person has picked up on what you're about to say. So you are now free to say what you have discovered with the rest of the group.
So just thinking on it, the word cardinal, it be a holy fellow. Do you think that, I don't know, it's some kind of cleansing that he's cleaning up around? We've been passing battlefields, so maybe he's the Reaper.
This body disappears and he moves on to the next one.
I think if we intend to face him, we may have to do it soon. He looks like he's getting stronger.
I'm in agreement with you.
Can barely hear you, B.
Apologies. I was agreeing with
Hmm.
Victor.
I
Sort
think
of.
we're probably
I'm in
kind of
agreement with you.
because we're hiding in the same place. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
most likely just
Yeah.
discussing that with each other.
His
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
disappears and he moves on to the next one.
Yeah. We need to act now.
Oh God, I am about to do something I'm probably gonna regret.
Yeah, I turn to everybody and I like
I'm
do
not
this
sure
do the signal
what
for
the
like, are we
battle we
attacking?
want.
I'm gonna cast guiding
I'm
bolt at it.
You're gonna do what?
Cast guiding bolt. Look away. I've got a measure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm in range. I'm gonna cast
Okay.
guiding bolt at him.
All right.
I just heard them say we need to act, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
nice.
Retro.
Well then, if we're gonna go to combat, then at least let me change us over to the battle map.
I'm so
So
sorry.
now everybody can see the battle map.
Yeah.
This is Foundry. This is what we've been playing around on, shall we say? This lovely, lovely thing. So you see in this ravine that there are 2 more bodies down there, and that there is this one that he is about to stab his sword into. You cast Guiding Bolt on this person. Now, we're all going to have to engage in combat now. So
I'm sorry, everybody.
that's fine. Let's just roll all, I guess. There we go. So you get a surprise round on this person. And you've taken the first action, Ash. Everybody's initiative roll has been rolled for them by the system. So at the top of the round would be Ruby. Ash has acted first, however, and they come after you in the line. So given that this is a surprise, the surprise condition is here. You can all act at whatever turns you want, but Aldrin, you would go last because you are after the Holy Man.
Yay.
But the rest of you do whatever you wish, and then we go through turn order. So it's all 6 of you essentially go, and then we go into the turn order, and eventually you get back to the Holy Man.
If it is a surprise attack, do I just roll damage then?
You still have to roll, but you get advantage because they're surprised.
Ooh.
So that's with advantage. You got a 19. That hits.
Is it just normal attack? Normal damage, I mean?
Well, what does Guiding Bolt do? What kind of damage does it apply?
Radiant.
Radiant damage. This roll damage. I will apply what I apply. Okay.
If it's hit, it also gives advantage to the next attack.
Yes.
On it. Sorry,
Right, hang on.
Backseat.
Sorry, say again, sorry. What was it said?
Hits... Sorry?
What was it you said?
Oh, if it hits, it
Yeah.
gives the next person attacking advantage, I believe, as well.
Cool.
Sorry to backseat.
No, you're right. Okay, so he takes that damage. And the next person gets advantage.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
So there's the ravine.
Yes.
So I'm assuming, without having depth perception, that's a deep ravine, and we'd need to climb or jump across it. We can't just walk.
So it's about 40 to 50 feet down. Oh, you've gone.
How wide is it across?
How wide is it across? We've actually got little measurements on here, so you can do this. So that's 25 feet across at the narrowest part.
Mm-hmm.
Where this bridge is, I guess it's about 20 feet. But yeah, these are like little measuring tapes that you can put down.
Okie smoke, thank you.
Yeah.
And in terms of jumping, I don't think I've ever jumped really before in
Long jump?
D&D. Yeah, how long is a long jump? Because as a monk, it's a bit different if I apply something, but what's base jump?
Well, there's actually there's calculators that you can use online. So how tall is Ruby?
6'1".
6'1". Okay, and what's your strength score?
Strength 13, mod of +1.
13. So with a running start, your long jump is 13 feet horizontally.
Right. Okay.
Without a running start, it's 6 feet.
Okay. Okay, and you just said it's about 20-ish feet, so
Yeah.
I'm okie doke. So, sorry, I'm just trying to work out. Basically, to jump across that, I'm going to have to use Step of the Wind. That's what I was working out.
Right. You've also got quite some distance to get to him because you've got, like, he's 95 feet away from you.
Yeah, but I am a tabaxi, so I can zoomy if I really want to.
Okay. Yeah, Ruby can get the
I could-
zoomy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I could
but it's-
dash, Step of the Wind,
Yeah.
and tabaxi zoomy. So I think I could actually get there because I think
Okay.
I could do. Yeah.
Makes sense for a
it's a
tiger.
different map, though.
Yeah. I
Doesn't
just
have
have
to
to
be
try and
middle.
work out the maths. Sorry, I'm talking over someone.
No, you're all
Sorry,
good.
no worries.
So what do you intend to do then? You want to jump?
I'm gonna have to get up close and personal, really.
Mhm.
So I think probably so. Let me get the measuring tape that you got earlier. Was it this one?
Mhm.
So it's 40 feet to the edge, then 30 feet to jump across on my thingy.
If you go in a straight
Actually.
line east to west, yeah. We'll call it
Yeah.
25. What's 5 feet between
Okay.
friends?
What are you? But what are you? Just for home rules, how do you count diagonal? Are you counting that as 5 feet?
That's also 5, yeah.
Okie dokie,
We're not
I'm
doing
trying to work-
3.5. It's not 7.5 feet. It's 5 feet.
So
I'm not here about to try and figure out what 7.5 feet plus 5 plus blah 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 is. I couldn't be asked.
That's That's fine. So basically, I have movement of 40 feet, but my current distance is 100 feet, I believe.
Okay.
So dash is 40 feet.
Yep.
Step of the Wind. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Step of the Wind. Yeah, so
Everyone
Step
else
of the
start
Wind
thinking
doubles-
about what you're going to do while we're getting through this as well.
Yeah, apologies. This was I was the terrible worst person to go first because I needed to do maths and that was never a good thing. Yeah, so my movement's 40 feet, Step of the
Yep.
Wind, so I can take dash action as a bonus action, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. That's why I was asking about distance, because if
Right.
I can jump 13 feet with a running start,
And now it's 26.
then I can cover that if it's 25, if we're doing
It
5
is.
feet between
We're
friends.
doing 25, yeah.
And then I've just got my standard movement, which is 40 feet. So I don't even think I need to feline agility zoomy. I mean, technically we're not in combat yet.
We've begun
Or-
combat, but we're just doing like surprise round at the moment, kind of thing.
Okie
So
dokie.
he has
So
the
if
surprise condition because he's not expecting people to come and attack him.
Cool beans. So am I okay to use my feline agility? Then it doubles my speed till end of turn. So basically I can definitely cover that gap if I Step of the Wind using a key point and feline agility.
Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
So I will Step of the Wind. So hopefully that's logged on there.
Yeah.
So I've now spent a key point, and
Lovely.
I'm going to feline agility.
Lovely.
So that's now I need to not have moved for a round of combat, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I've dashed and I've jumped and I feline agility. So I think I
Great.
can comfortably. Whoops, I'm still measuring.
There you go.
To measure anymore.
I'll just do it for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have to
DM.
select your character before you can move them. And you have to have like the little
Apologies,
box symbol on the top left to select it to be able to do that.
Yes, I've just come off measuring everything. I think that's my whole turn, guys. So
you've gotten
I
close
think I
to
can do
him.
anything more.
All right, great. You're stood next to him. End of turn.
Yep.
All right, so Ruby and Ash have gone. We've still got 4 other people to go, and then we enter combat round. So
Didn't
anybody?
I already technically take my turn with
Yeah.
the guiding bolt?
Yes, you did. Yeah. Next person. Who wants to go next? We've got Briar, Victor, Isabel, Aldrin.
Oh,
What's
sorry,
everybody
I
doing?
was,
I mean, am I to assume that these two in the ravine are dead people?
They are dead, yeah. All of the bodies that you've been seeing so far have all been dressed in the same ragtag armor that Wilhelm was wearing.
If we are to assume that he gets stronger every time he stabs a body, would it be a good idea to eliminate those two bodies there? Entirely.
My concern is, what if he's not necessarily making himself stronger to be an enemy?
I fear that ship has sailed. He's probably already an enemy by now that you've tried to kill him.
I haven't.
Well, no, you haven't. You
Get
haven't.
confused.
Yeah.
Just mean like take away a body so he can't get stronger off of those two at the very least.
I understand. Well, what do you wish to do to get rid of one of those bodies?
I mean, the only thing I can do is I'll rush over there and throw something. I think my tinderbox can do something.
Okay. What do you want to do with your tinderbox? Like set the thing on fire?
Set the bodies on fire. You can't stab an ash.
Right.
So, no offense, Ash.
Okay. I will say that you... I would argue that using a tinderbox is more of a manual thing at a campfire. It's less of a thrown fireball. Because if I start agreeing that a tinderbox can set something on fire and engulf it in flames and consume it within 6 seconds with a throw, then that's a dangerous precedent for me to set. Because then you're just all going to buy a tinderbox and start lobbing them at shit. So I would argue that, yeah, a tinderbox is more like a flint and steel and some tinder that you can get a bunch of dry logs started with some time and effort. It's not something that you can just throw at something and make it engulf in flames. That's a fireball spell. So yeah, nice thinking. Good out of the box thinking. Not really something that I would say is going to work in this case.
I've got nothing to get rid of the boxes myself.
I mean, maybe you just throw that suggestion out to one of your compatriots and you try and run up and do something different.
Okay, I'll dash to get a bit closer. I think I could do 60 feet.
Okay, cool.
Real quick, how do I find out how many actions I can do? I mean, I did a cantrip. Am I also able to do guidance on somebody in the same turn, or no?
I'll let you do guidance as well, yeah. Is that,
Right.
Is that action and bonus action, is it?
Yes. So let me cast guidance.
So long as you're following the action economy, then we're okay with it. It can be 2 cantrips in a turn. I just want you to be able to, you know, do
Okay. It is on Isabel.
Action and bonus action.
Oh, you don't use it to me. I can't. I'm not going to do anything.
Oh well,
I will.
Okay.
Can only move closer.
What range does it have? Guidance. Is it touch?
Guidance is touch.
So you need to be touching whoever it is.
Let me
so you have a flight speed, so you can fly towards somebody, right? You've got a fly speed of 50, so you could fly 50 and then touch somebody. Up to you which way you want to go with that. So Aldrin is 45, Briar's 40, Isabel is 20, Victor
I will
is
give
5.
it to Aldrin.
Great. So you've given Aldrin guidance. Wonderful.
Yep.
All right.
I am concentrated on them.
Isabel's used her action to dash. That leaves Briar, Victor, Aldrin.
I mean, would I be able to use a bonus action to rage? Or
Yeah, of course. You can use it. It's just that if you don't take damage before the end of the next round, then you both lose rage and also become exhausted. So.
I won't rage just yet because I know that also makes it easier for them to attack me, even if I get resistance.
I think you're thinking of like reckless attack. I don't think it makes them easier to hit you when you're just raging. It's only when you reckless attack something that they get advantage against you. Because you're attacking so recklessly that you're just leaving your guard open. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. You've not done that, so you're okay with that. But it would just be that you get a bonus to your damage of +2 at this stage, and it would also mean that you get advantage on athletics checks. So yeah, you've got that in your back pocket. You can use that next turn if you wish, but if you did use it this turn and you don't take any damage, then it's going to be hard for you to continue with the rage, unless you like stab yourself in the leg or something. Okay.
I mean,
So
I will not refrain from raging then.
all right. So Ruby and Ash and Isabel all spent. What do we do now? Victor, Briar, Aldrin.
Okay.
Any thoughts, anybody?
As I'm hidden, I was tactically waiting for the next person to go so they could use the advantage if they have any range, but yeah, that feels a little metagamey. So I'm gonna start and move towards here. So I will get 60 feet of movement with my bonus action dash.
Love that.
So I'm gonna get to this bridge basically.
Yeah.
Or the start of this bridge.
Great. Isabel, like the wind, Victor whips past you, kicking up dust.
So
Blimey.
it was about here, I believe. Yeah. And as I'm running, I pull a hand crossbow from inside my jacket, and I'm gonna take a quick pot shot at him, but it will be at disadvantage because the range on it is 30 feet.
That's fine. You always roll incredibly high rolls anyway, Steve, so we're probably still going to hit him, but we'll find out.
Where is my apologies? There we go, crossbow in hand. Oh.
Have you rolled that? Doesn't look like there's an attack roll with that.
So it'll be because I have advantage, it cancels out, right? So it'd be a flat roll.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, you hit. Oh wait, you didn't roll that with disadvantage, did you?
No, because they've got guiding bolt on them. So.
Oh right, no, yeah, no. Okay, now I get. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up. My brain's lagging. Okay, so you've got an attack roll of 18 hits, exactly hits. Roll damage.
Damage.
And what kind of damage is this?
Piercing. It's
Piercing.
A crossbow.
Okay.
But I have someone next to them, so it would be with
sneak attack.
Sneak attack. So, am I able to do that? I haven't quite worked out how it works on Foundry yet to add sneak attacks.
You should just be able to like click sneak attack.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Normal, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, there we go. I have to roll the attack first.
So we've got 9 damage and then 7 damage is 16 damage, right?
Yes.
So let's just apply and apply. Okay. Ruby, you are stood directly in front of this Aarakocra. He's not turned to look at you even once. His sword on the ground, still dragging behind him as he stood to this body. He was about to flex his arm. You can see that he's starting to shift his weight and lift his sword up to strike down at this creature. But with the guiding bolt and with this crossbow bolt that goes straight through his beak and into his throat, he doesn't make any reaction to it. Instead, he turns to dust, and his armor crumbles to the floor in a pile. The sword on top.
Okay.
Wait, he's gone?
So he's literally disintegrated in front of me.
Yeah.
Was the armor still there? Sorry, is it just the sword?
The armor has crumbled. It is slowly crumbling as well. It's starting to like very rapidly age and rust, crack, crumble, and turn to dust in moments.
Okay, but the sword fell on top, and that's
and the
not
sword
doing
is
anything.
also cracked. Remember I described that
cracked.
all of them were cracked and they were all healing. So the sword was healing and the armor was healing and he was healing. well, yeah, they're all sort of crumbling to dust and disintegrating.
I'm able to
Including
do
the
like.
sword. Sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
able. Sorry. I think we were asking the same thing. Is the sword crumbling or is it just cracked?
No, they're all crumbling. Every part of him.
Oh, okay. Is there a way
all
to
of
do
his
like
stuff.
an Arcana check or something of like that ilk while this is happening?
I will allow you to have this check. Not everybody is going to get this check. You get this check
Yeah.
because you're stood directly next
Okay.
to it, and it's dust. There's very little that
What's
you can
the
tell
roll,
about
Terrible?
dust from 60 feet away. So let me figure out what role this would be. What exactly is it that you want to try and find out? I will let you find out one thing in the time that you have before this all crumbles to dust
Wow.
and blows away. What one thing are
Okay.
you trying to figure out?
Think fast. I guess it's if there's what type of magic or what magic element is involved in this. I don't
Okay.
quite know how to describe.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So an Arcana check then.
Mhm.
All right. 8.
Oh, there you go.
You
Excellent.
have, as you delve deep into your sort of mental resources, your thoughts, your memories of mages you've known before, wizards and warlocks and sorcerers and all kinds of magical folk. You remember having discussions with people around campfires on your travels about why this is such a thing and why this is a law of magic and why that is a law of magic. And you remember that there is always this one thing that nobody can ever really pinpoint. But in this moment, you're struggling to pinpoint what it was as well. With an 8 Arcana check, unfortunately, you can't quite find that one memory that... It's like an itch in your brain. You know that there's something there. It's on the tip of your tongue. But as you start to search for it, the thought leaves, as so does the last grain of dust of the Cardinal.
Oh, really shouldn't have been me who was that close to doing Arcana roll, to be honest. I'm just going to turn around to the rest of the group because I assume I've just not been looking at them and just sort of... I have no words. I clearly can't find my words. I have no words to describe what I've just witnessed, just so close in front of me. So let's see if anyone comes up with anything.
I just shrug from across the ravine.
Okay. You are free to take whatever long jump you need. You can use whatever equipment you feel to get yourself back over. And as you return back over to the other side, the group, I guess you're all sort of stood wondering what the fuck just happened.
Can I have done a cheeky investigate of the body that I was stood right next to?
Yeah, we can say that happened. Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Just investigation, no problem. There you go, an excellent roll again.
Big wounds, large sword sort of shaped wounds, all over.
Did the sword crumble as well? Sorry.
Yes, every part. The sword. For this, I've got to let me make it abundantly clear now, because that's like the 4th time someone's asked me the same question.
Sorry, yeah.
It's all right. You're all good. You're all good. I'm amused by it more than anything, but just so that I don't get asked again. Every single thing that he was wearing and carrying, including his person, have all crumbled to dust and blown away in the breeze. There's nothing left.
Sorry, I think I was
There
so like, what is going on? In my brain.
No, you're all good. You're all good. So yeah, every part of him has disappeared.
Still here.
The bodies are still there. Yes.
Okay.
And you're all obviously free to walk around and investigate as much as you like now. Remember, you've got to be on the selector tool. Yes.
With the wounds, etc., could I see if there was the red tendrils,
Let me move you,
or
Mars.
was I too dumb to notice that?
So you, with the investigation check, I mean, you are out of combat. You can investigate as much as you wish. You would just need to move around this battlefield, I guess. Start looking at stuff. It's up to you how much time you want to spend in this location looking at these things.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to go look at the pink thing down the bottom, the pink rock. So maybe I'll just chill down in the ravine briefly.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see what that was about too. I saw it.
So, Tabaxi has a climb speed, and Aarakocra has a fly speed. The two of you can climb down relatively safely, or fly down, whichever you wish. So yeah, you can go and investigate whatever you want to.
I don't
Nice.
have any rope. I'm staying up here.
Well, it's like 50 feet up where you are, because there's lumps and bumps, which is why I said 40 to 50, because it depends on where you're stood on how far down you're going. So yeah, you've got a good 30 feet of damage you would take if you did fall.
I will stay up here. Please investigate. I'll keep watch on the road.
Okay, so Ruby and Ash, you take your investigation on this pink rock. What would you like to do?
I want to roll perception first to see if there's anything that I might not be picking up on.
Okay, go for it. All right. No, I mean, nothing new that you can notice with the roll. Seems like this is a kind of a geode. It's like rocky on the outside, but crystalline structure on the inside. It's a very beautiful shade of, I don't know, fuchsia, pink, purple. The crystal shards on the inside don't seem to be anything remarkable compared to any other geode you've seen before. But it's certainly large. I mean, it's as big as a carriage. It's as big as a dragon.
Tell Ruby, it's a giant geode.
It's a big old rock.
Geode. Ruby feels triggered about a large boulder rock.
Uh-huh.
And the idea of smashing it.
Okay.
But while staring at the geode, is quite tempted just to punch it. To see if any of it breaks off. To potentially recoup some money for the group.
Are you going to punch it?
Punch.
Am I punching? I'll punch the rock.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
Strong punch.
You know what? You hit the rock. Now give me a damage roll.
Thank you. Oh gosh.
It's funny. Rocks don't tend to move out of the way when you hit them.
They don't. Can't dodge.
With a 5 damage, you don't beat the damage threshold to break a piece off. But nothing particularly does break or shatter or anything like that.
Did I think, you know what? If I'd done it slightly harder, it could have done it? Or I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I punched a rock in front.
The sort of outer shell of this geode is about 2.5 feet thick of solid rock and crystal. You have a sense that perhaps this is just a fucking rock.
Okay.
But you also might be right and think, this could be the answer to all of our prayers. It's up to you how far you want to take this. This is also a big old geode, Those are valuable. It's just, you don't have the resources to move it, nor do you have the gold to pay anybody to move it. But if you were able to move it, you might be able to sell it to somebody for something.
Okay.
But it is the size of a carriage, and it's a rock, and it's in a 50-foot ravine. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ifs and buts here, but it's up to you whether you want to explore those or go about your business and find your way to Dreed'll.
Yeah, there are. I more like the idea that Ruby has just punched this rock.
Yeah.
And for her, there's context there, but for Ash, it's like, what on earth are you doing? Just punching a rock? What is this monk woman like? And then I'm just like, yeah, it's a rock.
Okay.
Big old rock. Yep.
I mean, I'm just gonna look at Ruby and be like, you can punch it again if you wanted to.
Shall I?
I mean, you can. Something might happen.
Punching a rock. Like,
Punch the rock.
Just being told punch a rock. Ruby's not got enough about her right now after what she's just seen.
And because you are sort of kind of shaken by what you've just seen, and because this is becoming a bit emotive for you, I think you don't quite strike it right, and your sort of wrist buckles just that little bit, that sort of imperceptible amount that another person might not see, apart from Ash, who does see it. But yeah, you sort of like flinch just at this one little strike at the rock, but you don't cause any damage to it. You don't really cause any damage to yourself, perhaps just your pride. But yeah, as you stand in front of this thing, it has, for all intents and purposes, this rock has defeated you by doing nothing.
Wow, defeated by nothingness.
Well, the damage threshold to break a 2.5 foot rock in half is more than the maximum you could have done with an unarmed strike. So
yeah, no,
you're basically you're never going to mechanically be able to do anything with this by breaking it.
Fine, it's fine. So I will have clocked that Ash may have twigged that wasn't my best strike, and I'm just going to look a bit sheepish and then go.
I'm trying to end my guidance, by the way. I'm not trying to.
I appreciate that.
It.
Don't worry.
I will shout down into the ravine. Perhaps instead of trying to break crystals, you should check the bodies for anything valuable.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Victor. Yeah, let's shall we head over, Ash, and leave this rock well enough alone? I was just checking it.
I mean, like I said, if you wanted to punch it again, you're more than welcome to, but we don't have to.
I could go punch a body.
Maybe we should just search a body.
Okay, let's go search a body.
Because punching is not going to do anything but maybe hurt whatever it's carrying.
Okay.
Unless that's custom. Wait, are we supposed to punch bodies?
I mean, you're making me doubtful now. I mean, that guy was stabbing bodies.
Oh my gosh, have I been doing this wrong my whole life?
Maybe next time you see a person, punch them and see what happens.
I look at everybody who's up top with me and I kind of roll my eyes.
I think we have the two socially inept people both together trying to figure out what people actually do for real. Okay. Well,
I go slightly winding up after just punch the next person you see. I want to see what happens.
Right. Anybody who wants to search the bodies, I will give an investigation check. We will top those up and figure out together how much you can find on the bodies.
Okay, cool.
All right, I flew away from the shiny rock.
Jump to get the other one. Yeah.
You flew away from the shiny rock. Does Ruby just give one last petty strike to the rock before you leave?
Never mind.
No.
Isabel doesn't see anything.
No, you don't? Okay, cool. Well, for all the difficulty in striking the rock, you have found... Don't worry, I'm taking your first roll. For all the difficulty in striking the rock that Ruby found, you did end up successfully finding something on this first body. And I think, Victor, you successfully find something on the next, and Ash on the next. So the three of you have managed to find some things. You find, I think between you, you would find, should we say, 3 gold? Sort of 1 gold in the pocket of each person, because they're all mercenaries in a low-level mercenary organization. You'll also find scrap sort of armor. This is the tin men, after all. They're not really, the tin soldiers, they're not really known for wearing particularly resplendent armor or even very effective armor. If anything else, it's really just there for show. So you don't really find any particular equipment of use. On one of them, you might find a small pendant that's just got the face of a loved one in. But besides that, you don't really find much more. So 3 gold and a pendant if you wish to keep the pendant.
Are they armed?
Say again?
Are they armed?
Armed? Well, they do have weapons, but again, they're like base level weapons that are just sort of old found weapons that aren't... They're not particularly masterworked, they're not magical, there's nothing there of any real use. But yeah, you find a smattering of basic weapons like a couple of daggers, a short sword, and a rapier. They might need some time and attention because they're a bit nicked and rusted, but yeah, these people don't really take good care of their stuff. It's other people's stuff that they find.
Yeah, I'm not looking at any of that.
So are we getting a gold each? Is that my understanding?
Well, the 3 of you would if you don't share it with the rest of the group, essentially, yeah.
Oh, I'm putting that gold straight in my pocket or in my bag, and that's mine.
Okay. Ash and Victor, what are you doing with yours?
I'm keeping my gold. I now have 1 gold.
All right. In fact, I need to remove your gold pieces, don't I, on your character sheets and
No, I already
update
did
it.
it, and I
Yeah.
added one.
I just did it just
I'm
now.
going to do it on Beyond now.
Thank you.
I hold the gold up to the rest of the group, and I'm like, at least it'll buy us some breakfast when we get to town.
Ooh,
And
shiny.
I'll just pop it in my top pocket because I'm assuming I no longer have a purse.
Right. This is a long journey that you are engaged in. You've managed to cover a lot of ground today, but this is not going to happen by the end of this session. You're going to need to find somewhere to rest. Is there anywhere that, in particular that you guys are looking for? Any particular kind of ground? Are you looking to find your way to some foliage for cover, or for berries, or for food?
I would prefer some sort of foliage.
Yeah? Okay. Anybody else?
Question. Before we leave here and before we leave the bodies, with Aldrin's investigation check, would they be able to find out or see on these bodies if they also had the red tendrils that the other fella had?
Yeah, I don't think that you really need to. I would say that with time, care, and investigation in these bodies, you will just automatically succeed. There's 3 bodies. It doesn't take a lot to be able to pull their clothing apart. You know, they're already in tatters. Yes, they all have the same red tendrils, and they all look waxen and putrid and like grey. They've all had the tendrils seep all the way across their body, but they also have multiple stab wounds. So you don't know for sure whether these guys died because of the initial stab wounds, because that's not a healthy thing for somebody to have. PSA, friends, it's not healthy to get stabbed. Don't do it. If you can help it, don't be stabbed.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I know everybody these days is talking about how great it is, and they all want to get on that stab wagon. Don't do it. That was a joke. So yeah, yes, you couldn't tell for sure. You think that perhaps some of them dropped immediately because they were stabbed so many times that they just ran out of juice, the red juice. You have the idea that perhaps others were sort of like in the ravine trying to like tend their wounds and died before they could, or died before they even knew what the wound was, you know, about what its nature was. But yeah, you find yourselves concluded in this area. You've investigated what you can investigate. You've looked at what you can look at. You've pilfered what you can pilfer. It's now up to you where you lay your heads down for the rest of the night, and how and where you try and find some food.
I mean, shelter is important. We don't know what's going to happen out here in the desert, so we want somewhere.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I do a survival check?
Of course.
To try to find an area that would be safe from whatever might be roaming out here or whatever?
And more to the point, anybody who wants to do a survival check can do so to try and find some food that's around.
Let's do it.
Yes. Oh.
Hey,
Look at that.
Pretty good, Aldrin.
20.
And a nat 20 from Isabel, and yet
yeah.
still... And it's a -1. So it's actually a 19 with a nat 20 survival, which means that the dirty 2017 that Aldrin got is somehow better, because we don't crit on skill checks, just on attack rolls. So that's unfortunate, but very good. So I think Ash and oh no, that was an investigation check. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong number. So between Aldrin.
I got a 14.
Between Aldrin and Isabel, you managed to find a decent place and some decent food. You gather together the right berries. I think Aldrin's knowledge of poisons and venoms and of living in and around and having a fascination with acids and poisonous creatures and things of that nature. I think that you know those things so well in your seeking of them that you also know how to avoid them. And in this moment, that really helps, because you manage to find a perfect place in a lovely little grassy place, grassy glade, which, let me just apply all of your tokens to it so that you can actually see. Boom, 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 and boom. So yeah, you manage to find yourselves a lovely little grassy place. As the sun starts to go down, what is it that you're all doing to set up camp? You've got some berries. You've got this lovely grassy trail that heads off towards the north, off in this direction. You're sort of on the northern edge of the Redwall mountain range, where it sort of falls behind you. Is there anything in particular that you are trying to sort out?
I'll set up a campfire when we've figured out where we're going to actually be sleeping.
I am going to roll another survival check to try to set up some sort of shelter for overhead for all of us.
Lovely.
And then does Aldrin find perhaps some edible mushrooms that they could make a little stew out of?
Oh, lovely. Sort of like Minecraft.
down,
Minecraft level mushroom stew. Lovely. Give me another roll if you want to have a look. Another one.
Survival?
Ash got a nat 20 survival. Yeah, another survival.
I did.
And an 18 survival as well. I think Ash and Aldrin, you're just you're on it right now. Because Ash, what was it that you were trying to do in particular with your role again?
I was trying to make a shelter for us, something to protect us from rain or whatever else might come.
I mean, who better to create a nest than a bird, right? So, so the Aarakocra, with all of your animal instincts from eons of evolution, bringing you out of the dirt and grains and into the sky and trees, and finding the sort of ability to speak and think and feel and reason and all of those great things that sentient beings have. You have applied all of that knowledge and found yourself a fuck ton of great branches that are just strong enough to hold shelter, but not so strong that they're going to be impliable against the wind, because you know that if it's too brittle, then it will just snap and break and you'll all be in the rain again. And you manage to find a good amount of foliage so you don't need to weave something together. And yeah, you all managed to create a lovely, should we say a campfire? A little campfire around here. And as the day turns to night, you all find yourself around this campfire. And you've bedded down and you've got yourself a nice, lovely little space.
That is so cool how that does that.
Sorry, I awkwardly just do as I'm told the whole time because I'm a city boy. I'm not used to camping, so whatever everyone tells me to do, I hurriedly, nervously do that, basically.
Right. So, driven by the motivation of a city boy, Victor manages to get in line and figure things out with everybody else. Anything that you discuss before you have your next long rest?
I'll take the first watch if you want.
We need a watch, but
yeah, I'll take the first.
First of all, I've failed in my manners. My name is Victor, and while it's unfortunate that we're in this situation, I'm glad to be traveling with such skillful outdoorsmen.
Who you calling a men?
Turn phrase. Apologies.
Okay, just checking. I'm Ash, by the way. I don't know what a turn of a phrase is, but it sounds painful. So don't turn it too hard, okay?
It can be sometimes.
I like this Ash. I like this Ash guy. That's great. Okay. May I ask who's taking the first watch?
I will.
How many watches do we need to do to cover a night?
I mean, it'll just extend your long rests. It's up to you. You each need 6 hours to sleep each, apart from Aldrin, who takes 4 hours of meditation.
Yep.
I think I'll help
Aldrin can take
watch.
4 hours. They'll take watch from there out.
I am not going to watch tonight because of the fact that I just smited another one of my species and saw them doing unholy things. My character's mind is like, I don't know what I just saw, but I need to try to understand it.
Okay. So just tell me who is sleeping immediately.
I shall be sleeping.
You're sleeping.
Aldrin will take 4 hours to trance and rest, and then
Right.
take watch from there out.
Okay. Ruby?
I think Ruby's sleeping immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
That dumb rock.
Okay. And the rest are up for watch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, as we draw this session to a close, because we're getting way over 2 hours now, we get to the point... Oh, yeah, and please click long rest on your character sheets, everybody. You will all be getting this long rest, of course. We get some differing visions, I think, for each of you as you come to your rest on this evening. I think some of you might see Wilhelm and hear his scream, of course.
Of course.
Some of you might remember the terrible atrocities that you saw this holy man doing before disintegrating and blowing away in the wind. Some of you might remember Ironfront and the lessons that you learned there and the things that you're trying to do further north in Dreed'll. One of you, as you lie in the grass and you feel the wind going through your fur, Ruby, you notice that there's like a shadow that seems to be moving off to your left. And you hear the voice in your head saying, "So, where are your friends?"
What?
And with that, we'll end our session.
I'll keep doing this to me.
Give a girl a chance, Don.
Thank you very much, everybody. That was brilliant.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
I hope
thank
everybody enjoyed that. What a packed session, man. I know, Don's right. Don's right. Oh, Jesus the Dragon, what an ending. Yeah, man. That was, we had combat. We had an NPC dying in front of us. We had a young girl running after a chicken. We had everything, you know? When you've got chickens and you've got holy men and you've got battle and you've got shadows in the dark, what else do you really need? What a lovely time. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back again next Thursday, next same time, same place, on stream, on Tats's and mine. Thanks, everybody, for all of that. Was there anything that anybody wanted to see or say before we go? Any of these, like, character artworks that you want to take a look at again, or anything like that?
Something that I would like to add.
Mm-hmm.
Before everybody would have taken the long rest. Sorry, I couldn't get it out before you
Yeah.
started the whole spiel.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I would have cast anybody who's on watch, so including myself. I would have given us Eyes of the Night, which just gives us dark vision.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, that would have been handy.
That's great. Lovely. Well, I'll make a note of that on my notes then. Eyes of the Night for first watch. Great.
Does that give
And
the
that
dark
affects
vision a boost?
Does it give dark vision a boost? That's a good question.
Because I already have dark vision inherently.
It
So would it give
depends
it a
on.
boost?
It depends on what your dark vision what the range would be. Like, it could.
Naturally, it's 60.
It wouldn't enhance. So my Eyes of the Night is 300 feet. So it would.
Oh, blimey.
It would,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it would like overwrite that, I guess. But I don't think like it would add on to it. So it wouldn't make it 360, but it would make it 300.
I think also, like, if you ignore the mechanics of it, it was it's sort of it might also keep you from being able to sleep because all you can see is fucking light all around you. I can imagine that being really fucking inconvenient when you're actually getting to sleep. Like, fuck, I can see everything. I don't want to see everything.
Maybe it'd be good for somebody on watch to force them to not.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I thought that the
Definitely
Holy Man
awake.
reveal was great as well, but then I'm biased, so you know.
Yeah, I
what
just
can I
lie back
say?
to sleep afterwards saying, I can see everything.
Hey,
Yeah.
I will be right back. I just rated out to my friend Thormengender, and
Great.
they are doing a thing. I don't know if you want to raid the same person. They're not doing D&D though.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look and find out who we're gonna raid to. I want to stick around and
Okay.
talk a bit for a bit though. Still.
Yeah, I'm coming right back. I just want to say hi real quick to them.
No
and
problem
then
at
I'll
all.
be right back.
No problem at all. I think that everybody needs like a refractory period after a session that thick. So let's, if anybody who wants to stay or can, you're welcome to, and we can chat about it. Anybody who needs to get off, you can get off. I don't mind. Leave when you have to. I'm not going to keep you here. But I would like to just say to the point that Sayahi mentioned in chat, Holy Man reveal was lovely. Yeah, I was quite proud of that actually. I've been thinking about how to do that, and I was quite pleased with the way that came out.
I don't know why, but when you said holy man, I was thinking you've a man that's literally like Swiss cheese holes.
I mean, he's got cracks in his beak. You don't know what's under his armor. He might be covered in it. He might be full of holes.
No one's got the phobia of.
I mean, he is full of holes.
He is full of holes.
Shot him.
You mean tryptophobia? That one where like
Yeah,
there's
not-
clusters of holes
Didn't shoot
everywhere.
him.
No,
I
nothing
don't
like that.
have that phobia, but
No, nothing like that. Don't cast that from your mind. He's besides anything, he was covered in armor, and he only had like tufts of feathers, so you would have seen his skin. But yeah, I was quite pleased with that setup reveal. That was a nice little fuck you in the brain kind of thing. Like, oh, this guy's really, really scary. Okay, all right then. Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I was quite pleased with that. There was so many other encounters that you could have had as well. Some of them would have been so funny as well. I loved Yashk. Yashk is great.
That voice messed me up. I had to mute myself because I was laughing so hard.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I want my chicken. Give me my chicken.
That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row now.
The chicken. Yeah. It's like, what do you want to be called? Huh? I want to be called Chicken. Well, that's not a name. That's what I was calling them before.
yeah, don't judge a person by their chosen name.
Yes,
Now
this
they
is true.
know it.
Oh yeah, now they know it. Yeah. Chicken. Okay then,
If you
chicken.
don't call them, if you don't call them chicken, you're calling them by their dead name.
Well, that's true. That is
They
true.
chose their name. It's their chosen name. That's
It
their
is
name.
very true, and I do respect that. So chicken it is, not chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken is their dead name. Chicken is their new name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love chicken.
Chicken is
It's
great.
like spelling.
And he's a thick chicken. He's like a big fucking chicken. So you
chicken.
talked
I
about
don't
the size of the yeah, I got you in the mood for chicken now. The size of chicken that I had in mind was sort of like a, you know, like one of those big like
chocobo?
inflatable balls that you like sit on, the big rubber inflatable balls that you sit on and bounce. I was thinking like the chicken's like
a
sort of
space
that sort of
hopper.
size. Yeah, that's the one, space hopper.
Okay.
I was thinking like that kind of size of chicken. Yeah. Like a large dog sized chicken.
So
Yeah.
so not like the one I posted.
What did you post? I'm looking for this now.
It's in the main dungeon chat.
Oh,
Is that?
I've
Oh, that's
got
all the
that
fries.
mount.
I see the
I've got that
fries.
mount.
Oh, main dungeon chat. I'm looking at general D&D stuff. Oh no, not that big. That's fucking huge. Jesus fucking Christ, no.
When you said
Fuck me
you said
sideways.
each leg was like a bucket, so I'm like, okay, huge.
No, I said the whole
That's
thing
awful.
would be a bucket. I said the whole body would be a bucket. I didn't say just a leg.
You did just say the leg.
Did I say just the
Yeah,
leg?
the leg.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I'm
You did.
pretty sure you did.
I mean, to
The
be
leg is
fair,
a bucket on its own.
listen, to be fair, the leg of a space hopper sized chicken would be a bucket. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know the size of space hopper.
I don't know,
ooh.
I'm not having this argument.
I think they're about 3 feet across, maybe 2.5. Yeah, maybe 2.5 feet across.
It's a
This
space
chat.
hopper.
Vegetarian exits the chat. I mean, you can weigh in on the size of a space hopper. Perhaps not the deliciousness of a bucket of chicken.
Well, what? See, this is my issue. Is the chicken's body the size of a space hopper, or is the whole chicken, legs, tail, and head included the size of a space hopper?
That's what I meant by body, yeah.
Okay.
The entire chicken.
Yeah.
Space hopper with
100%
legs.
of the chicken is the size of a space hopper, yeah.
Right, we need
Yeah.
to.
So legs is included within
Yeah.
the space hopper size.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Right.
This
So
is
that
what I
makes a
love.
difference, you see.
So this is what I love about Dungeons and Dragons, right? No matter how much setup reveal that I have for all these amazing characters, that in my opinion anyway, I'm very biased. The things that the players that I always DM for will tag on to and really focus on are a shiny rock that just happened to be there in the map that I downloaded, and a fucking chicken in the size of it. Fucking hell. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I made some modifications.
The size of like an emu.
Listen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I made some modifications to that map, but I did download it. It was somebody else's creation before I modified it. So, you know, maybe cut a guy a little slack and think maybe the pink rock is just a fucking rock.
Why? See, this is a ploy. Because next time there'll be a pink rock, and we won't investigate it. And you'll be like, guys, why didn't you investigate the pink rock? It was actually a secret portal to the fairy
And
realm.
that
What are you
is
doing?
the beauty.
Uh,
That's the beauty
Mimic.
of yes, a mimic. That's the it's a fucking huge mimic the size of a carriage. No, that's the beauty of D&D. You never know what's coming next. And speaking of
Well,
next,
I
it's
mean,
going to be next
I
week,
was-
Thursday.
I was wondering if we had to do something with those dead bodies, you know, instead of just leaving them there because they're all like veiny and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
But we
So
can-
I was just, you know, like, should we burn them or melt them with acid or stick them in a hole?
Fair enough.
Well, we just
I mean,
kinda left
Acid is very hardcore.
Okay, so I totally did just order some General Tso's chicken.
okay. Well, I respect you and I support your choice.
boil them, stick them in the stew.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, look, the reality of it is this. There was already a guy in the middle of a large city who died with all of that shit and was left out in the open. So if we're talking about patient zero and epidemics, I think that ship has sailed.
I mean,
That's
we're not doing a
Yeah.
zombie campaign, are we?
I mean, hey, I did say that
I mean,
I explained at the very beginning of this campaign that there are things, situations, people, places, characters that evolve while you don't deal with them. And that the longer you leave them, the bigger an issue they become down the line. Now, I'm not saying that you've just given me the idea to make this a plague
no.
of zombies.
Sorry.
And I'm not saying that perhaps I hadn't thought of that initially and that now I've got a great idea for a secondary story arc. However,
oh no.
there might be, in the future, the possibility of zombies. Who's to say?
Great.
But with
What
that
I'm now concerned
in mind...
about is that the wolfkin is zombies, and then there's just that's just the whole thing. Like, oh yeah, they're a nomadic tribe, and yeah, it's just because they're zombies wandering around.
Absolutely.
I,
Now,
Is
let's
I-
see. I don't really have anybody that I can raid to.
Do you want
that
to
I'm
read
following.
my friend Thor? I can tell
Sure.
you how to spell his name. It's Thor.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Give me
no.
a sec. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
My raid message was just sneak attack because we were doing D&D.
Right. Okay. So THOR
MUNGANDR.
MUNG ANDR.
They are a they them, and it is Pride Month, and they are playing a game called Lucid.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, then. We're going to raid out to this lovely person, who, as you've just heard, is a they, them. So please be mindful and respectful of those pronouns. But we're going to love to say hello to them. And you might also love to use the new command. I have actually got a raid command now for you to use. So you can now copy and paste that. And that is freely available for anybody, so long as you're a follower. We don't have 2 tiers of raid messages here, because I know that not everybody is a subscriber. So if you want to, then go and copy and paste that, and we'll be messaging that into their chat when we arrive. I'm about to get this thing started. Thank you so much for being here and for being with me. That was very sick.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll try and work out what the fuck is going on the rest of the week and not be able to think about anything else. But,
I love how mystified I leave all of you. But with that, I am going to have to leave all of you as we raid out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye. Thank
See you next week.
uh,
Bye.
Bye.